Hey girls, it's Niece. I left y'all hanging. I just straight left y'all hanging. My apologies. Where'd I leave off? The beginning of the year? Is that where we left off with my grandmother? She was wheezing. Homegirl was wheezing. I said, that don't sound natural. That don't sound normal. This was actually at the end of the year. I started getting concerned, like December 30th and 31st. I was like, this don't sound right. So on the 1st, because I kept telling my grandpa, we need to call a doctor. We need to take her to the hospital. Something's going on. He kept saying, no, it's just a cold. Now, they had a cold for like 2-3 weeks, and it wasn't getting better. She was taking cough medicine. She still wasn't getting no better. I said, now listen, we've got to take her to the hospital. He kept saying, no. I kept saying, yes, we must absolutely take her to the hospital. So on the 1st, I went over there and I said, I will not be leaving your home until we take her to the hospital. I'm not leaving here. He still didn't want to take her to the hospital. I called my auntie. My auntie called the ambulance because it was like, look, this is ridiculous. She's wheezing. She can't hardly breathe. She can't get from the bed to the bathroom, from the bathroom to the living room. She's tired. You know, I went over there to help her, get dressed for the day, and she couldn't hardly wash her face without having to sit down. I was like, now wait. So the ambulance checked her out at the EMTs checked out at the house and was like, well, everything seems all right, but if you want to take her to the hospital, it's up to you. Girl, we didn't call you just for y'all to come give her a checkup. That really worked my nerves. It was just like, well, it's just up to you. And my grandpa's still over there like, well, no, she don't have a fever and blah, blah, blah. And me and my aunt were like, no, we're going to have you take her to the hospital. So I hopped in the ambulance. My granny was in the back. I'm in the front, child. We arrive at the hospital. And we get there and find out that she is in congestive heart failure. Her lungs were filling with fluid, and any more time and homegirl would have suffocated unto death. And I'm sitting here like, I really wanted to do a whole bunch of, I told y'all niggas. I really wanted to do that, but I was more concerned with the health of my grandmother. So you know how it is, child. When she's sick, we go into a specific mode. When she's in the hospital, I should say, we go into a specific mode. So my job whenever my grandmother is going to the hospital is to stay the night at the hospital for as long as she's there, the duration. Spend the night every night. Now, that may sound like an easy job, but I assure you it is not. It is one of the most difficult things. Oh, okay, they put a little gas station over here back where the farmer's market used to be. Work it out. Anyway, it's not easy. It's one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. And I've had to do it twice in the past 6 months. It is a journey, okay? Now, I told y'all about when she broke her leg back in, October? September, October, something like that. She broke her femur bone in her thigh. Well, her femur bone is her thigh. She broke all that up, honey. Snapped it in two. And I had to stay in the hospital with her 9 nights, which is, I get there about from anytime from 7 to 11 p.m. depending on how I'm feeling, honey. It really depends. I pop in and we spend the night, child, at the hospital. Now, the hospital is not a comfortable place to be for a patient. So imagine how uncomfortable the hospital is for someone who is not a patient, spending over a week laying in that old raggedy chair. We had to do that again in January, starting the 1st. From the 1st to, I want to say the 11th or so, we were in the hospital, me and my grandmother. I'm laying on these old raggedy chairs. Homegirl was in the ICU. The ICU was less comfortable than a regular room. I don't know who this is texting me. I have no idea. But the ICU in the hospital is far less comfortable than, just the standard hospital room, because it's intensive care. They got to have specific things. And every 2 hours or so, sometimes less depending, they just bust up in the room loud, turning on lights, taking blood, taking temperatures, taking, all of this, just taking, honey. Come in there, hey, good morning. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, baby. It's 3 o'clock. I just turned over and got me a light Z, because I don't sleep well, just in general. I sleep super light. And then on top of that, I'm in this old raggedy hospital chair trying to sleep. Like, girl, it just was not coming together. Every couple hours here they come flicking the lights, talking loud, because they, they work nights. It's like, okay, girl, this is what we do, but shh. So that went on for over a week, and she had to have oxygen in. Now, my grandmother had a stroke. I think it's been 3 years now, and her short-term memory ain't no such thing. Ain't no such a thing. Homegirl just don't have it. Like, I went to pick up some food about, I want to say 20 minutes ago, because, child, everybody's slow today. I can guarantee you when I walk in the house, she's gonna be like, hey, where you been? I told her before I left, I'm running up to, she wanted some Captain D's. I'm running up to Captain D's, girl, I'm gonna get you some scrimps. But anyway, we was in the hospital. She kept taking her oxygen out because not only does she have short-term memory issues due to the stroke, but when she's in the hospital, she just be confused anyway. Because she thinks she fine. She don't know she nearly suffocated to death, drowned in her own chest fluids. Like she don't even, it's like, girl, why am I here? So she kept taking out her oxygen. They kept having to put it back in. I kept having to put it back in. She just taking it off, honey. Waking up out her sleep, slipping it off. It's just all sorts of things. Anyway, so she was in the hospital. Then she moved to the rehab facility. And she was in the rehab for another, I want to say 2 weeks or so. She was in the hospital and rehab all told from the 1st to the 30th. So that all of January, homegirl was wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in the hospital and the rehab centers. So at the rehab, now mind you, I had just gotten off the boat. You know, I just took my cruise, got back on the 23rd. That next morning after having driven all through the night with my good Judy Tyler. You know, me and Tyler drove and was getting sick on the drive. It's like the closer we got to home looked like the worse we felt. It was just awful. So I'm still trying to recover from the cruise and the whatever. It might have been coronavirus. I don't know. I didn't die, thank God, and I don't think I gave it to nobody else who died. But I didn't even go to Christmas dinner because I was sick and I didn't want to get the folks sick. And the folks still ended up being sick. It was a mess. My great-grandparents, they still ended up getting sick. So it's like, girl, I could have went to Christmas. I was at the house. Anyway, so she was in rehab. I'm still trying to recover from my illnesses while trying to make sure she all right. Sleeping on the chairs in the hospital, checking on her every day at the rehab because you can't spend the night at rehab. You just, you know, they got visiting hours. And just trying to make sure she's comfortable and all right, child. Now, mind you, I went over to my granddaddy's on, because, you know, I work at my great-grandparents' house. So I'm checking in on him. He wasn't feeling well. He had an infection. And he pushing off. He was supposed to have a surgery. He's pushing that surgery off until she gets out the hospital and rehab. And it's like, girl, well, while she's not at the house, wouldn't this be the best time for you to have the surgery? So y'all could both be at the hospital and then both be at rehab or whatever y'all need to do to recover together. It's crazy. Why would you not, like, you don't have nothing to do. You 95. It's not a lot for you to do. Just while she's in the hospital, you go ahead and have your surgery. But he waited. So he's sick. He can't come out the house hardly to come check on her. Now she think she done got it in her mind that he's dead and we not telling her. At the rehab, she thinking, Lord, something done happened to my husband. I ain't seen him, so I got to call him and tell him, your wife think you dead. Here, talk to her on the phone. So they talk. She got everything cleared up. But then she forgot she talked to him because again, that short-term memory gone. What else have I not said about January? Oh, I'm in my new car. I got a new car in January. I started some new medications, honey, for my mind. I'm feeling, you know, a little better. Honey, that depression and anxiety had done got me, child. I was toe up, because it's like, girl, your grandmama had congestive heart failure, you sick, your cruise was a mess, your granddaddy's sick, he's supposed to be having a surgery. It was just, everything was on me at the same, at once. I wish this truck wasn't on me like this. There's a truck behind me, you can't really see it. There she is. She is riding my bumper, honey, and I just, at least, buy me lunch. If you're gonna be all up in my butt like that, buy me lunch. Anyway, child, so I got the new car. I didn't know if I was gonna get it because y'all know my granddaddy has swooped me before, honey. Ganked and gooped the girl. So I didn't know, I couldn't even get excited. Now he trying to, honey, he trying to gank me again for my coins, but we'll talk about that at another time. Anyway, early February, he was starting to prepare for his surgery. He had his surgery, I think it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks tomorrow or Thursday since he had his surgery. He's been recovering. It's just, this is where I've been. I've been with my family, honey. They've been sick, acting a fool. Just everything's been going on. Everything has been going on, and I have been missing because I couldn't have all that going on and then try to get on here and talk to y'all too. It was just far too much. Anywho, I think I've covered everything that went on while I was gone. What y'all been doing since I last saw you? Who done get engaged? Who having a baby? What y'all up to? Honey, in these 3 months that nearly 4 months that I've been I've done like 2 videos in 4 months. That's a shame. But I'm back. I think I'm back. I think I'm ready to talk to the girls and speak with you all about events and stuff. So yeah, I'm here. I'm here, girls. I'm here. If there's something y'all want me to talk about, just drop it down in the comments. But I believe I've covered all of my absence. And do excuse the absence. Please excuse it. Just pretend like I wasn't even gone. Pretend like you've been seeing me this whole time. Yeah, I think that's it. I just wanted to come and give you the rest, the part 2, honey, of what done happened, child. Everybody was sick. My grandma's still in congestive heart failure, and she don't want to take her medicine, so I got to fight with her every day about taking her medicine. Just, oof. It's been a journey. It's just, girl, I am just not having a good time. I'm not having a good time with life right now. Anywho, I'm pulling into my folks' yard, so let me give my grandma these shrimp, honey, from Captain D's. And I'll call y'all for something soon. Soon and very soon. We are going to see the king. Soon and very soon. What is that? Child hanging from the building. It's ghetto, whatever it is. We are going to see the king. Anywho, I'll holler at y'all after a while, child. Peace.